Hi there, you are tuned into Beauty and Braids, the podcast where I, Karyne Tenard, has conversations about all things relevant to personal growth and development. Just a heads up, I'm unfiltered. You're welcome. Hey everybody, it's your girl. So as I'm recording this, I just received news that Cicely Tyson has passed away. The 96-year-old actress, model, author, all of that. I did not know her, but she just was everything I could look up to, an inspiration. She was working well into her 90s. Like, she was still doing movies. She still was acting. She still was doing videos, still showing up, still fashionable, and just flawless. I'm pretty sure she, was dealing with other things, especially getting up in age. Being 96, that's huge to have your memory, to be doing so well at that age. And now, January 28th, she has passed away. What's so powerful about her passing now in 2021 is that she lived through 2020, which was the craziest year where everybody was, leaving us. A lot of people had passed away due to the virus and other things in 2020. It was a lot of death. For her to live through all of that and make it to almost towards the end of January, I say that's amazing. And now she gets to rest. That I just want to, give her the most respect for what she's contributed to society and our culture, the wisdom, her quotes, her wise words, her style, her grace, everything. So, wow. So I didn't expect to kind of speak on Cicely Tyson because I did not expect her to leave us, but she will always live on. Her legacy continues. Also this weekend, my friend Latisha Jordan is laying to rest her brother. So, rest in peace to Mr. Chauncey. It's just, trying times for a lot of people, and I just send my heart and prayers go out to Latisha and her family and his friends and everyone who was close to him. And of course his nieces and nephews. And also a happy birthday to my goddaughter. Her birthday is January 29th. Serenity, happy birthday. Your godmother loves you very much. And I hope you start doing good in class because you got a bright future ahead of you, girl. All right. So I'll talk to you later. But again, I love everybody. And we'll go into the topic. Today's topic is anxiety. I don't know if anybody understands how crazy anxiety can be. And there's, severe anxiety and there's mild anxiety. You get those panic attacks. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on. You're freaking out because what you're doing is thinking about the worst that can happen in the future. So you're not really living in the present when anxiety comes up. Like when you're suffering from an anxiety attack, it's because you are no longer thinking about your present or living in the moment. You're thinking about what could happen. What if this doesn't happen? What if that happens? Oh my God, if, and none of those things has happened. So it's basically telling, it's fear, right? Like you're thinking about the worst that can happen or what doesn't happen, and it hasn't happened yet. Like you still have control of what the outcome comes out to be or how you perceive the outcome to be. So if it's something that you're hoping for happens, but you're fearing that it doesn't happen, you can say, hey, all right, this is not going to happen to me. It's not going to it's not going to hurt me. It's not going to physically harm me. I'm not in danger or anything like that. When you start to look at things in that way, for me, I suffer from anxiety and it's mild. It can get crazy, but I feel like I have found a way to kind of manage my anxiety and kind of make it work for me. So I was reading this book and it's called Own It. And I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I kind of do that. Like when I get really, really nervous all the time. I get nervous when I'm going to speak or in an interview or, when I interview people. Anytime I meet someone new, or there's a new situation or someone wants me to do something, I get like my anxiety kind of gets triggered because it's unknown. I don't know what to expect. If it's something I already know, then my anxiety is cool. Like I'm like, oh, it's nothing. But every time it's a new moment, if I'm meeting someone new, like, okay, oh my God, anxiety, dating, okay? Like you're just nervous because you're like, I don't know if this person's gonna like me. I don't know if they think I look like my picture, or like, what do they like about me? So you're just kind of like in your head about certain things, and it's just like, really? Like if they don't like you, they don't like you. You're not for them, but for who's for you is for you. You can just enjoy the experience. What I learned is the minute I said, life is an experience, I'm going to enjoy this experience. I'm not going to pay attention to what doesn't happen or what does happen. I'm going to see this person, get to know who this person is, have a good time. And if it's not a love match, then it's not a love match. Not everything is going to be a love match. And that's the good thing about it. Like you can't fall in love with everybody you meet. If you did, you'd be single for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So, if people don't know this, I have a nonprofit and I interview people all the time. And when I meet them, I'm super nervous. Because I'm like, this is my organization and I don't want people, I'm like, I don't know. I get like that for anything. And most of the time, the people who I'm interviewing, they're nervous. So I just kind of break the ice and we start laughing. And then that's kind of how it works. Because I'm like, if I'm nervous, I know the other person is nervous. And if they're nervous, I should just allow them to know that I'm nervous too. There's no need of trying to put that safe, strong face on and just kind of be like, look, we're human. We're here to do a job. No one is better. Only difference is that I'm the founder and you're looking to help me. So I appreciate you helping me. Like my organization can't do much without people who want to volunteer and give back. So there's no ego here. right? So I'm always checking my ego. I'm always checking my anxiety because it can make a problem look way bigger than it is. If anybody goes through anxiety, you know that it makes things look way bigger than it is. It makes things look harder than it is. It's like, what? And then once you get it done and stuff, you're like, oh my God, that was nothing. And I think a lot of people need to own their anxiety, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize they probably are suffering from anxiety. They just think like, oh my God, I'm nervous or whatever. They don't have a name for it. But trust me, you are suffering from some type of anxiety. Hopefully, not depression, because a lot of people do go through that, where they have their highs and their lows, and they're not realizing what's going on with them. So, I mean, I would recommend to check in with some type of psychiatrist or a therapist or a counselor, just to see where you are. Like, if it's something that you can just talk about, or, or write about, journal about, do breathing exercises, or do some yoga. That definitely helps, because what happens with anxiety, the more you're anxious, the more it affects everything else. I mean, you can use it for where, like, you're close to a deadline and now you're anxious because you want things to be perfect. Oh my God, it's not perfect. It's going to fall apart. They're going to laugh at me. Da da da. Like, listen, the beauty of like, I had to learn, like, when I'm anxious, I set the tone. So I'm just going to keep using my nonprofit as an example. Like, when I'm anxious and I allow my anxiety, in the past, before I went to therapy, I used to make a big deal out of the little things. Like, really go hard on certain things and be like, if I can't do it, if I don't do it, nothing's gonna get done. Da, da, da. And I stopped trusting people. I stopped trusting the people that I hired. So that means I'm not really trusting my own self in hiring people to do the work. And when I started doing that, I ended up being the only person left. Okay. And I was doing it and it was stressing me out. When I let that go, like, trusting in myself, knowing that I'm making the right decision, I'm discerning who I want to be a part of the organization. And if some people are really good at, masking who they are, as soon as they show some signs of deceit, I let them go. I don't wait. And I trust myself that I'm going to make the right decision by letting them go. And when I do that, everything started flowing again. And when I started hiring or recruiting people, should I say, to do the job, they did it. And I was able to just let go and trust that the job will get done. And if I need to step in to help out, then that is fine. But I'm not micromanaging anybody. I just want everybody to be up. There's a thin line between micromanaging and then helping out or pitching in or, guiding people to the direction that you want, so they understand the organization, because everybody is basically new in my organization. So I have to still kind of like talk about certain things that I want, what I don't want, and then allow them to do what they do, right? So it's all about trust. Anxiety is about not trusting. Okay? Anxiety is about not trusting that things will work out. It's fear. It's like, oh my God, it's not gonna happen. All of this stuff, you're not trusting things to let it happen. So anxiety is trying to kind of control certain situations, and then panics when it doesn't go according to what the person wants. So it's like a nightmare. Could you imagine that person sleeping? No sleep. Okay, that person is not gonna sleep, because they're gonna be constantly reminded of what could go wrong. So, and someone who hasn't had the, hasn't been able to kind of manage their anxiety is someone who is on, is on E, is on empty. This person is not sleeping. So you want to be mindful with that person who is suffering from anxiety, because they are agitated, aggravated, probably annoyed. They're like a ticking time bomb because they're not sleeping. And we know that rest is huge. When you're restful, you think clearly, you react slowly, right? Your responses are a little bit more rational than one would if they were suffering from anxiety and lack of sleep. So when dealing with people, be mindful, look out for those signs, see who you're talking to, because someone who is anxious is not going to make the right decisions. They're going to make decisions based out of fear or desperation. Someone who is controlled, they're going to be like, oh, all right, less proactive. A person who has managed is going to probably be more proactive than reactive, right? Because anxiety can keep you stuck, can keep you blocked, can keep you in a standstill, and you don't do anything. Like you're so paralyzed that you could mess up that you do nothing. Okay, so when it comes to hair, oh my God. When it comes to hair, sometimes I'm anxious. Like I'll do my hair. Like in the past, I'll do my hair or somebody's hair, and it comes out good, but I'm like, oh my God, I hope this person likes their hair, because if they say something or they don't like it, they're gonna tell everybody, I'm gonna be ruined, and that's what I every time, and everybody be like, oh my God, I love my hair, I do, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. And it happens over and over again. I'm just in my head. So now I'm just like, I know that I'm good. And if I don't feel like I'm completely that good, then I'm gonna practice until I'm better at what I do. So that's, again, being proactive. It's like, what is the worst case scenario? Okay, and now how can I prevent that situation? At least help it to be not such a big problem in my life that's going to paralyze me. So especially in hair, like a lot of people go through stuff when they cut their hair or do something, like they get anxious or they get scared of what might happen, and then they refuse to do something that actually will benefit them in the long run. Like, if your hair is completely damaged, and what you should do is cut it all off, but because you're afraid of what everybody might say of that look, you don't do it. So you just walk around with damaged hair. I think you just have to throw the cares away and realize that the people who matter who don't mind, and the people who mind don't matter, and just stop living for other people. Because when you have that mindset of people's opinions matter and validation, it will keep you in a prison that you don't want to be in. And the worse your anxiety gets, the worse off for you, and it can physically create harm to you. So please, what I would say take away from this is ask for help. Identify if you have an issue. If you find yourself really anxious all the time, not sleeping as much, agitated, annoyed, ready to snap at everybody, sometimes it could just be, you can be procrastinating. Anxiety also, like, you don't want to do this, like, oh, let me wait till this happens, or it has to be perfect. And what 2020 has taught us is that perfect is out the window. Nothing has to be perfect anymore. Nothing has to be perfect. And just relax and put your health first. Sleep is important. Don't sleep too much. But if you do not get a lot of your sleep, make sure you schedule a nap in. Your body will tell you, I'm tired, so go lay it down. But yeah, so please look into anxiety, and hopefully you're not a person who is suffering from that. But if you are, there's help, and it does get better. I know, because I got better. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you again for listening to Beauty and Braids. I'm your girl Karyne, and this has been another great day. Until next time, you'll hear from me then. In the meantime, please follow me on @HairByKaryne, @ShopBraidAppeal, and @YTC Nonprofit. Get to know me a little bit better. Check them out. Bye.